Hello. Sorry about that. Hello. Today is the third installment of the Bryan Grogg Show. I have done very many takes of this show, trying to figure out the path I wanted to take my show. And I have to say, I don't know how to take it. I am very all over the board so far. So I think that for now, I'm just going to do it in the best way that I can and hope that it comes out right. Okay, so to start off, my contact information is bgrog77@gmail.com. That's my email. Please email me any questions you have. I will answer them to the best of my ability within 24 hours of receiving an email. Just a heads up, I refuse to answer any disrespectful emails of any sort. So if you send me hate, that's what the comment section's for. If you want to hate on me, you want to do all that, do it where it belongs. The comment section, my email is for people who actually want to know something about what I've talked about in any episode of my show. So please do not waste my time or other people's chances of getting their emails answered faster by sending me disrespectful emails, because as I said, I'll open them, read them, and delete them. Okay, so that's my email. My Facebook is Bryan Grogg. That's BryanGrogg. I am, as I said in my last episode, going to make a Facebook for it, but at the moment, for the show itself, right now, I'm just not that able to do that, so right now, we're just sticking with my personal Facebook page, but you can send me, a comment and be like, I watched your video, I'd like to add so I can get updates on the show when the next episode's coming out, that kind of thing. Another thing is, I promised you guys a website, and it will happen. Just at the moment, it costs a lot to get a domain name. So right now, you guys are going to have to wait on the website because it's just not happening at the moment. Money's tight for everybody except for rich people. So, yeah. Okay, so, here's an update. My daughter is now 5 months old. That is the reason I haven't made an episode in a while, besides the fact that I couldn't figure out what to do. I had a daughter in October. For personal reasons, I am not saying her name, and I will not be putting any pictures on here. I'm sure you guys understand, but family is very important, and you must always protect your family. And I don't think it's necessary for my daughter's pictures to be on my show. Okay, so today we are talking about Wicca and why I became a Wiccan. To start out with, I was born in Ashtabula, Ohio, which is my current residence, actually. It was a very hard start for anybody. I suffered very traumatic circumstances that I won't be getting into for personal reasons again, but and I was placed in the foster care system and ended up in West Virginia, where I was placed with a very religious, shall we say, family. They were Christians, for the most part good people, but at the same time not so good people. So, anyway, I grew up with the Bible being pushed down my throat as the law. everything is how it's said in the Bible. There's no differences. Everything is as the Bible says, as God says, as the preacher says. But for me, that didn't work. See, I question everything. If it doesn't make sense to me, I will ask. And preachers didn't like that. At least the ones I came across. If you know a preacher who is very open to questions, I'm not disrespecting him in any way. I'm just stating my experiences. Just a little heads up for everybody who's sitting there thinking, oh, here we go, it's a Christian basher. No, I will not be bashing any Christians in my show at all. Not this episode, not the next episode, not 10 episodes from now. I will never bash any religion. You all have your own personal paths. I have mine. That's just life. So, at the age of 13, I came into a time of trial. Life was getting harder for me. I wasn't exactly what you'd call popular in school, you know? But I was smart. So it's kind of a good trade-off, but not in the same light. I got into a lot of fights at the age of 13 and ended up going to correctional facilities and spent a long time there. But during that time, I came across a group of people who called themselves witches. Now, these were not Wiccans. They were the kind of people who didn't actually believe in what they were doing. They just were having fun, acting like they were casting curses on people. But it intrigued me. It made me wonder if there was a such thing as magic, and if gods existed, and if there was such a thing as the greater deities, the horned god, the threefold goddess, you know. So I researched, and finally in a facility I came across true Wiccans who taught me about life in the Wiccan way. They didn't force it upon me. They didn't say, you know, this is the only way. They said everybody must choose their path. But as you choose the path, you're still honoring the goddess, the deity, the cosmic it, you know, the being that everybody tries to put a label to. And is any religion right? I don't know. Maybe they're all right. I mean, so many people have so many different beliefs that it's hard to tell whether they can actually be right or not. I mean, there's so many similarities in certain religions. I mean, that's life, though. So, when I finally started learning about Wicca, I started changing my life. You know, I started following the Wiccan Rede, you know, and at harm none, do what ye will, you know. Life didn't exactly get easier. I'm not saying Wicca is the miracle cure to life. I'm not saying that everything will be better if you're a Wiccan. You know, you gotta take life in what it is. You can't just assume that your religion has some kind of magical cure and everything's gonna be better all of a sudden. Because it's not gonna happen. Life is life. You can't just change it with some kind of miracle cure and then call it God. It doesn't happen that way. But you can try and better your life. So why did I become a Wiccan? As a kid, I always felt connected to nature. I would spend hours upon hours, summer, winter, spring, fall, in the woods growing up. I grew up in West Virginia, as I said, and I lived in the country of West Virginia, which, you know, West Virginia being West Virginia, there's a lot of country there, but I lived in the country itself. On the side of a mountain, actually. It's pretty interesting. It was in a small town called Rock Cave, West Virginia, Google Map it. I don't know if you'll find it or not. It is pretty small, so I don't know. But if you find it, you'll see, there's more woods than anything, which I loved. I spent hours in the woods, and I would just sit there and watch the squirrels, the deer. I saw bears, birds of all kinds. I saw a hawk once, and it was one of the most amazing things I had ever seen, because before then I'd only seen them in captivity. So, it was quite a, spiritual time for me. And that's what Wicca's about. The elements, the earth, water, fire, air, spirit. You can't go anywhere without seeing these things. You see a tree, that's earth. You feel the heat of the sun, that's fire. The water, the lakes, the rain, waterfalls, these majestic things, that's water. Air, it gives us life, it's everywhere. And spirit is in everything, everybody. That's a reason to be happy. It's a reason to want to be something better. And there's the misassumption that all Wiccans do magic. No, you can choose to do magic, but magic is only such a small part of Wicca. There is so much more to Wicca. Now, is it a part? Yes, if you choose it to be, anything is a part, as long as you remember, harm none and do as ye will. Now, that doesn't mean you have permission to steal from people or, anything like that. If it harms somebody, that still falls under harming somebody. If you steal from them, how do you know that's not the money they were going to use to pay their rent or put food on their table for their kids? You can't be that kind of a person and be in Wicca. It breaks the very reed that we live by. It's just not right. That's why I'm a Wiccan. It's just life. It's not because of Dungeons and Dragons or marijuana or all these other things, the news and all these affiliates of the news and congressmen and senators. They say these things, but it's not true. That is not why. We're not doing it to be rebellious. We're not doing it to be anarchists. We're doing it because that's what we feel is right. So, anyway, I'm going to put my email address in the link below. Please comment, hit that like button if you like my video. Or if you don't like it, go ahead and hit the dislike button and comment why you didn't like it, and I'll try and make my next episode better. I'm going to post this on Facebook, which is new for me, but I need to get my, fan base a little more spread out. So, signing off today. Blessed be, and hopefully we meet again.